Testing 1 2. Don't mind these guys. Sup, Noble? How we doing, bro? You can't hear them right now. Well, I shouldn't be able to hear them right now. How we doing? Can you hear me, Noble, by the way? Am I coming through to you? Sup, Jack? How we doing, bro? Justin, cheers for the like, bro. Sup, BMK? You can? Alright, cool. It means right now you can't hear them, which is fine. Oh god, Serial's face. I know. He can't talk to you right now, Bri. But we're there. I'm good, Jack. Bear with me. Let me just get this. Let me just get the heavy share out there. Because this will be available everywhere as we are recording it. Oh god, Brian General, Justin, how are you doing, BMK, Quinton, cheers for the likes, guys. Welcome on in. Welcome to the first annual podcast, Kyle. Cheers, my guy. Corey, how are we doing, dude? This is our first podcast. The Yank, the Salt Shaker, the Hobbit, and the Bird. What a strange collection it is. You're right. What a strange collection. We are. But we wouldn't have it any other way, and don't you lie to me either. Stado! Mali, how are we doing? Destiny, a better place now. Perfect aim guide. Dude, Mali, we're going to get into all of this. All of this in just a second. I'm going to bring everyone in just a minute. I just have to get... I just have to get this out there. Host. Done watching Unsolved Murder Mysteries with your wife. Yeah. It's very nice. So, like, Stano, Jack, cheers for the resupport. All right.
I had that with carrots.
Okay.
I put that on fish.
So, we're live. People can now see you. Bry's taking giant already, which is, you know.
Yeah, I have stream
we had it up as well, and we're doing, bits about it. It's like...
Yeah, I gotta be fair, I did enjoy the masks, though. Wait, so confetti? Confetti's got a class. Holy crap, that's Turner. Yes, so,
yeah.
let me introduce everyone just before we go anywhere. 2 more cheers for the like. Okay, dude. So, in the top left corner, I want to make sure I get this right. This is Serial, as you know him, a.k.a. Robert. He's played Destiny since the D1 launch in 1984. He's done all the raids, including 3-mans, including just recently. He's straight PvE. He hates PvP. Fuck y'all is his vibe. He's my aged, so he's middle-aged, crazy, with a fair number of kids. His pull-out game is weak, and he plays on Xbox and PC. Goldie looking thick, though. Above me is Goldie, a.k.a. Goldie, a.k.a. the salty one, the salty maniac. The Himalayan salt flats. There's plenty of words to describe him. He's played D2 since D2 launch, which is 3 years ago. Didn't play D1 the same as me until Destiny 2 launch. PvP is wank. That's why. Cheers, Bri. He's done all raids across the series, bar 2. He's a PvE main, but he does dabble in the Crucible. However, when we do, we have to mute him because the language is just that strong.
Salt shaker.
There it is. There it is. He does Xbox and PC, and then over here, this guy, this is Turner, Lewis, whatever you want to call him, abuse him.
Oh wow!
He's played D2 since halfway through Warmind, so he's most of the series. He's
practically a new life player.
It's rough me to say, like, you're not wrong, dude. What raids has goalie not done? The two that I haven't done, Brian, D1.
Wrath of the Machine and
Kingsfall.
Kingsfall.
Same as
All the
me.
best ones.
Exactly, yeah. I'm saving the best for last. By best for last, I mean when they come out on D2.
Tuna's a PvE main who likes to dabble in Gambit.
Love Gambit.
He's old enough, and he is
Old
a
enough.
PS4, Xbox, and PS4 guy. I think you guys know who I am. I'm Toucan, Troy. I've played since launch of D2.
You don't know who he is. His emblem is right behind him.
I'm definitely old enough. With that many kids that my pullout game is like the worst out of everyone here.
He's going for child bingo right now. He's two spaces off.
That's right. And I play Xbox and PC. But we're gathered here to talk about the state of Destiny 2. And what I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce you to what happened on September 6, 2017, when Troy's 52. It's about right.
Oh no!
What happened on September the 6th, 2017? Have a look at this.
The city is secure. Those who fled are being hunted, and those foolish enough to remain have been executed.
Do you see all that I have done?
The war's over. And we've lost.
Our numbers will continue to dwindle. We can no longer protect ourselves, much less the survivors. We all know what needs to be done.
Get up close and personal with Gulp. Put a bullet in his head. Then maybe eat a sandwich.
An outright assault was doomed to fail. There will be no coming back.
It's worth it.
If the Red Legion want war, give them war. Humanity never deserved power. I am God, and I alone am worthy.
This is great. You don't want a hug? No hugs.
I missed the cold heart weapon. However, my stream... come on. Bear with us, guys. Alright, we're back. Here we go. That's Goldie. There he is.
Absolutely might yell.
Absolutely.
It is Goldie. It is what it is. It is what it is. But along with that
Also,
trailer, we had this one as well, which was the live action one.
Look, I know you're new here, so let me catch you up.
The
Everything
puppies.
you love about Earth
I love
is
this
gone.
one.
Your skinny, no-foam vanilla latte? Gone. Binge watching? Gone. Cars, love
Definitely have
songs,
to look up
the
the
Grand Canyon? Ruined! Okay, that didn't change much. But say goodbye to surprise parties, ketchup and mustard, late night texts, Taco Tuesdays, and if that wasn't enough, puppies! Or... Not the puppies. I know, right? Who does that? I mean, I'm more of a cat guy, but still, where was I? Everything is gone, except for the last city. And now, a psycho rhino named Gaul has come to take that away too. So it's time to bring out the big guns. It's not a metaphor, guys. go grab some big guns. Because if we're going down fighting. Do it for the tower and the ramen shops. Do it for the loot they've taken from us. But most importantly, do it for the puppies! Follow that guy.
I'm so proud of myself right now.
Destiny 2, available September 6th.
For those of you in Australia, that was September 7th, but still, you know, it's not our fault you're in the future.
I think my favorite part about that was the fact that there was that one scene when the hunter that was running around and he was shooting at him, but he was like this, like, yeah, I'm gonna get him, guys, move!
Shafi, for the holiday.
People like that.
I'm still trying to find the keyboard presses that I need to make that happen.
Yeah, dude. I could send you how to do it. I could send you how to do it.
Trying to figure out how to get off Top Tree Solo.
Cheers for the like.
Never.
It was, Mr. Noble, and to consider that was 2017 and we're now in 2020 and we're looking forward to Beyond Light. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to the crux that we've agreed here. Basically, the way this is gonna work, guys, we're gonna go through some topics. Serial's gonna start for us. Goldie, Turner, myself, and then we'll talk to you guys, and then we'll just move on as we go. So Destiny 2's launch, for those of us who played day one, Turner. What did you think when you first jumped in?
Well, going from D1 especially, so it's different, I think, for players like you, Troy, who came in directly at D2. Like, all you had to go off of was the hype and everything from D1. So new players going in D2 was, I think, a much better experience. D1, going into D2, we were just looking for a refresher. It was almost like getting DLC, but with new mechanics. So it was a much larger scale DLC, so to speak. But it didn't quite as suffer from the D1 launch where there was just more in game. There was a little bit more to do. Leviathan was fun, how it had its cycles. There were some chases when it comes to weapons, but you still kind of had that stagnant under Activision's grip of microtransactions and pushing and trying to force things through, where there was very little to do at the end game. And I think, just like D1, you kind of had a small fall off of what to do next.
Goldie?
I'm almost done.
She's like Jason. She's for the stars too, bro.
For me, in order to what was it? I didn't even pay for Destiny 2 because at the time, one of my friends had done the the game share thing where you sign into their account and you can download their games. I ended up getting Destiny 2 from that right as it came out. So I wasn't like a day one player, but it was at least like a day 2 or 3. So mine wasn't even I like this game, I'm gonna try it, like I'm gonna go for it. It was hey, it's free, I might as well try it. So I ended up playing it that way, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in my eyes I was probably the noobish player imaginable up until like the most recent, last couple of seasons. Like I feel like, the Christmas noob who, in Call of Duty, that's how I felt when I was playing the game, because I had the foggiest idea of what this game was. All I knew was that it looked like Call of Duty, except I could collect guns that had, shooter shoots, and I could throw out blades of light and a big giant void ball that made things go poof. And I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I'm down for that. And it is, that's Destiny 2 in one sentence. But I think it got to a point though that I did enjoy it enough that when I eventually lost that game share, it was one of the games I rebought, because there were like 3 or 4 games that I ended up getting again. That was the first one that I got. when I lost that game shares, I bought Destiny 2 again because I just enjoyed it that much. And I was like, well, damn, I missed out on all of Destiny 1. This game is dope. I kind of wish I'd played it. But I think there was eventually at one point moving up forwards that I did fall off. It was right before Curse of Osiris. It was the dawning, the dawning of the end, I guess you could say, when microtransactions became the only way to play the game. So it was around then that I faded out, and I didn't start playing it again until after Warmind.
Do you, as a new player coming in, do you think, did you have a flux in your head on whether this was a like Call of Duty style shooter or an RPG?
I looked at it more of like a shooter as opposed to an RPG. I wasn't even a big RPG player at that time because I lacked a PC strong enough to do anything. The best thing I had was a laptop I bought in like maybe a couple of months prior, and even that couldn't run most RPGs. So, because I'm more like you had the WoW players. Like when I got up to that point, I didn't have a job or steady income, and the idea of having to pay a monthly subscription for something like that was totally out of my reach. So when it came to RPGs of that sort, I avoided those. So when I saw Destiny, I thought of it more of like a magical Call of Duty, I guess you could say.
Makes sense.
I might not have played day one, but I did do the beta testing for it because I was a WoW player, and because it was through Activision, it all got funneled through onto the Battle.net launcher. So it just popped up one day, and I thought, I'll give that a try, and I enjoyed it. But then I ended up not getting the game because a lot of like bad reviews had come out, and that's how I was like buying games back then. Like I'd look for a beta, test them, and then I'd check for reviews from like other people that have tested them as well once they've come out.
That's fair.
So
That's
then
fair.
I didn't end up getting the game until probably like 25%, 50% through Warmind when I saw your stream on Mixer.
Just when I started streaming it on Mixer was about halfway through Warmind.
He saw the light.
It was at this moment that he knew.
We'll touch on that in a minute, Bri. Anything else, Turner? Are we good?
No.
All right. Okay,
no, I think
cool.
we're good for that.
So, I came in D2 day one. Eyes open because D1 had been a write-off for me. I'd seen a lot of people talk about the disappointing launch of D1 and that one of the DLCs, I can't remember which one right now, had saved D1, and then everyone was like, no, it's fallen off again. But I came in fresh for D2 because people were like, there was a lot of buzz and a lot of hype about it. And it was different to anything that I played. I mean, I know people have made comparisons to like WoW and stuff like that, but like WoW was completely different. The magical Call of Duty in space, something like that. I mean, yes, in a way, but again, it was completely different for like a lot of stuff that I played. But the grind, year one, Destiny 2, just it wasn't a thing because like you hit 300 light and then you had your 5 bonus and it was like, okay, I'm done. Did the Levi raid, didn't do it D1, didn't do it day one, didn't do it week one, but we did it. It wasn't too long after the launch of the Leviathan. Cheers for all the likes, by the way. It was weird, because it was like, I've done everything, I've got all this stuff, now what? And it took a while for Osiris to come out, and because we're about to touch on Osiris anyway, Osiris was completely underwhelming.
Absolutely.
Like, it was like, okay, here's a story, okay, Osiris, a name that people had talked about, and I looked into a little bit of D1 and the lore and stuff like that, so like I knew who he was. And then it's like, okay, this is a good start to the story, and that was it. And it was like, hello? I need something, So
yep.
I got the taste test. Where's the rest of it?
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. And then like people like Bri, and I can't remember exactly when I started playing with Bri, but like he explained what had happened to D1, and he said, you're going to see a pattern here. You're going to see what they did with D1 now. And yeah, it has. Destiny 2 has definitely got that. Here's a good start. Here's some underwhelming DLC. here's another underwhelming DLC. Hey, look, the game savior, and like we've got that. So there we go. So Serial, Taken King saved D1. What have we got? Bryce at House of Wolves saved it, fell off. Taken King salvaged it. And there's the story of D1, and then you look at D2 and you go, Osiris was crap. Warmind was okay. I'm not gonna lie, Warmind was okay. You know, the planet was a lot nicer than fucking Mercury. Let's be fair, because Mercury was like hello.
And Mercury, they talked about the Infinite Forest like it'd be this constant, always changing thing that would never get boring. And we realized it was literally just a pathway, just to get from point A to point B that you can entirely skip over. There was no point in it.
Yeah,
like so much more.
Let's be honest. The Festival of the Lost event is the only good use of the Infinite Forest. Period.
100%.
Oh yeah,
and even that is just decorated. Like it feels like, in my eyes, the Infinite Forest is like a treadmill. Like you can do it forever. Doesn't mean it's going to change. And the Terrified Forest is like running on a treadmill that's in a haunted house. Like it's a lot cooler. It's still a treadmill.
Yeah. You're always getting rewarded.
Yeah,
and it gives you a goal, the time trial part of it. Yeah, literally, the only time you ever go in the Infinite Forest is I gotta get from where I started to where I'm about to end, and that's it.
Yeah. That's it. Because I mean, you look at stuff like Escalation Protocol. You do it. There's a certain reason to do it. The weapons, doing the catalyst for the I can't think of the sword now.
World Line Zero.
The World Line Zero.
Yeah, World Line Zero.
But once you've hit 7 and you've done all of those things, there's no reason to do it. At least with the Nightmare Forest, you can keep going and try and, can I get a different branch? Can I get a good roll on this? It's a shame that that's what we're at, that we're going to get this once a year, and then we're stuck with the Infinite Forest, and it's like, okay, this is what... And I mean, they're taking that away now anyway, so it's like... it's not even good riddance to bad rubbish, It's like, bye, good to see you go!
and exactly like how Bri said to you, it's like, as you're starting to play a new launch of Destiny, get ready for this drought. Because everyone who played D1 who was going into D2, we all had it in the back of our minds. Nobody wanted to talk about it. We wanted to hype ourselves and thinking it was going to be better. But like in D1, we got the Water Glass, and then like Crota's End came out, and it was like, oh, this is it. So we expected that with Osiris, and then you bring in an amazing character like Osiris that we had so many questions about, and we always heard about, and then a very underwhelming location such as Mercury, and it was. Okay, well, we're used to this, but then we kind of think it's like, okay, now our new player base is going to disappear.
Yeah. Couldn't even ride a Sparrow until 2020.
No, I know.
Mercury.
It's crazy.
So dumb.
Exactly.
The worst part.
That was the worst part.
Let's be fair, though, you still don't really need to read the Sparrow because it is that small.
Yeah. It's also so unimpressive. You don't care to stick around it. You want to Sparrow through it.
Yeah.
So I remember like powering through the game when I got it, because I needed to catch everyone up in level and stuff so I could join the raids. I remember getting to Mercury and like I completed it. I'm like, is this it? Like if I had like played since day one and that had come out, I would have probably quit the game.
Yeah, a lot of people did when Osiris came out. A lot of people went, right, I'm done. Especially a lot of the D1 players. They were it was just like, what is this? Like, we're not doing this again. We're not taking this roller coaster.
Yeah, we go again.
But I mean, let's be fair. One thing that Bungie do good is, hey, here's a trailer for what's coming up, and then everyone goes, I'm going to come back and play this again. I'm going to give it a second chance, and they take your money again. And going into Forsaken, I mean, everyone saw the trailers and they were like, this looks good. And they hid stuff when Forsaken came out.
Yep.
We did bits, and then it was like, what's this Toka Talisman? We've got the Tangled Shore. And then all of a sudden we had this, what are we doing this? And then all of a sudden, the Dreaming City. And I mean, I don't know, for those who have done it, the first time you go to the Dreaming City and you land on like that beach, and then you work your way into it, and then you only work your way so far in, and then you see the Dreaming City, and then you see the Blind Well, and then you see the rest of it, and it's just like, they went the extra mile with Forsaken, and then the Last Wish raid dropped, and anyone who watched the Last Wish raid race, I mean, we'd had the Eater of Worlds, which was hard, but then, like, the minute you perfected it, it literally is, as we call it, the 6-man strike, And then you had the Spire of Stars, which was just ridiculously mechanical heavy. You then had the Last Wish, and it was like, this is good. And again, like D1, it saved the game.
And the one thing that Last Wish really did was that it gave you a story and a reason to go in. It wasn't just that you were going for loot; that like you felt like it had purpose, and you brought in something that a lot of players were talking about is the great Ahamkara hunt that was always in the lore and such. And now it's like, oh well, there's one left, and we get to kill it.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember back when Toucan and you and I both went into the Dreaming City at the same time, and we were exploring it together. And I just remember running around that map with you, and we were just doing random stuff, finding out random things.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite moment is when you and I first found the tincture, and we popped the tincture.
Oh my word!
And I think I had used it, and I'd found a platform, and I'm standing on this platform, and you're looking at me going, "Why are you in midair?" And it was just like
we were in the entrance to the Blind Well, or the entrance to the Last Wish raid, but like during the normal instance, and you were all the way up in the door, and you were like, "Look up," and I looked, it's like, "How the fuck did you get up there?" It's like, are you glitching? Are you standing on the thing? And it was like, no, I the tincture thing that we've had, and like I popped it, and then like he's like, look to your left, and all of a sudden like you could see the end of this small platform, and as you got closer and jumped onto it, the rest of it appeared, and then you could see the start of the next bit, and then you just jumped all the way up and around, and it was like, and you could see people on the ground going, are they cheating? What's going on up there? And they're looking up going,
it's amazing though, because like you go there now and you pop one of those to like, if you've still got chests left to find, like some of them are hidden in that. And like you see people running around just doing like bounties and stuff, and they see you and they're like, how are you up there?
Yeah.
Between just how amazing the Dreaming City was, and then everything you could do with the tinctures, and then you had the weekly. I can't even remember, it was the weekly portal that you would.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, I got a story about that.
The Ascendant Realms.
The Ascendant Realms, and then you have the first ever dungeon, Blind Well, just Last Wish raid itself. There was so much.
Dude, the Shattered Throne, when that dropped, people were like, this is the introduction for people to go and do 3-man fire teams to wet people's whistles for the raid. And it's what it did. And it was a really good thing that they did.
Like, I feel like that dungeon is more of a raid than some of the raids we have.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was harder than Era Worlds.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Our first clear of Shattered Throne took us like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel it was longer than that. The boss itself was probably like 2 hours. That stuff was tough.
And they had those moments too. It's like as soon as you kill the ogre, it's like, okay, we're done. And then it's like there's so much more even after that.
Mm-hmm.
Going for a Wish Ender.
That's it. Because I mean, I could remember killing the ogre, going to the statue, and then there being, okay, we've just done something, and it, like there was no keys on the map. And it's like, okay, is this over? And then you could go on, and you got up to Dalinkara, and it was like he had the 3 Ascendant Knights, and the first time you went up there, because like the light level matched what they had, you were in there for ages trying to kill them, and like you were dealing with the ads, and you were dealing with him conjuring the bloody the big crystal behind him, and you do that 4 or 5 times over to kill a knight to be able to damage him, and it took ages to damage him. It was like, this is hard, but it's good.
Back then we had to glitch it so that the little splitty like dudes weren't spawning. Like we had to do that in order to beat it the first few times.
Yeah, it was just hard. Like
it was insane.
But it just also speaks to how bad that first year Destiny could have actually was with Osiris and Warmind. But we're just sitting here talking about this is how D1 launched. Let's just talk about Dreaming City now.
Yeah, but it's a memorable moment, isn't it? You know, you go into it and and then with everything else that happened in Forsaken, I mean, the storyline was really good. You got to revisit the Prison of Elders with the strike, and people were like, "Oh my God, I can remember this," and I was like, what the fuck are you going on about? This is the first time we've been here. And it's like, no, you'd have no idea. And like, you know, and then you went down to the chest and people were like, okay, we're going to get a reward now. And then they chucked in that bit where you just drop down and then you're taking on this servitor boss that's like taking over the prison and stuff. And it's like, this wasn't here before. So for like older players, it was something a little bit different and new. Yeah. And then let's talk about it with Forsaken, where it went afterwards. What came after Forsaken?
Black Armory.
Well, yeah.
Well, we went into what what everyone now knows as the seasons. I mean, personally, I'm not gonna list like all the seasons and stuff like that. Forsaken.
And then we did Gambit after that.
Yeah, Gambit came in, and I like the way they handled Gambit.
Before Forsaken.
I like.
They were
no. Gambit was there, but I can't. The Season of the Drifter.
Yeah, the Season of the Drifter.
Oh, Drifter one. Yeah.
Right.
And we lost Cade.
Season of the Break.
We lost Cade.
I think that's the problem now is like ever since Forsaken and Cade died, like we've had story. The seasons kind of add to things. We're building up to Savathun's arrival, and we have the darkness now, which I love. But at the same time, there hasn't been like that really gut check moment now in a story.
Yeah, I mean,
there hasn't really been a story. I mean, we haven't had any story mission.
Before we get into Shadowkeep and the seasons, Destiny on a whole has so many plot ends that they have not dotted I's and crossed T's on. It would be nice to get some closure on some things before they bring new things in. And I mean, I know you can see now with the next 3 years with Beyond Light, The Witch Queen, and that you can see that some of them are coming to a head. But it would be nice to get some other closure. Like we need to see what's going to happen at Uldren, because we know he's with Porcupine outside, just outside the city and stuff. The 15th Wish.
They keep doing this.
Why are the Red Legion still around? We've beaten you. Move on now.
and we even beat Valkahor, who was the guy trying to bring them back together.
Most of the story is all hidden in the lore, because I don't know if you guys listen to My Name is Bife or Bife.
Absolutely, and Marlin Games.
Because the one that as for the Red Legion, like apparently Callus has a daughter who's supposed to be leading the Red Legion now. Like we haven't heard anything about her at all in the actual game. It's only in the little bits and tidbits in the lore. Like I don't mind having those little nuggets of cool info, but when the entire story is only found in lore pieces that you get in cosmetics that are found in Eververse, like that's a little irritating.
So I do like that build up, but the one that was plaguing me is King's Fall Raid. I loved. I like the Hive, but my favorite will always be the Splicers from Wrath of the Machine and Siva. That was always my favorite. Hence the glowing red computer with the Siva emblem screen inside of it. But what I hated is how in D1 they planted the seed and we had the Savathun song Strike, and like they gave it the name Savathun Song. Everybody who talks in that has no idea what's going on or all this. Like Savathun's name doesn't even come up. All they just say is Orcs as sisters. And I'm just like, we're going to sit on this nugget for years now. And we are. We're literally going to sit on this nugget for 4 years until Witch Queen comes out. Which, if you've ever gotten a chance to, Bife did a reading of it, and I think Marlin Games did also, of the Book of Sorrow. It is an amazing story all on its own. You should definitely listen to it.
That's it. And you should go check the lore. Bife, like they're saying, you should go listen to him because he goes through the lore. He gives you the story and he connects all the dots, crosses the T's and stuff for the people who don't read the lore. There's a lot in there that actually does connect a lot of the stories, but it would be nice instead of them dropping tidbits of lore to actually have the story in the game where you get. I mean, they did cutscenes. When Uldren was revived, they'd hidden a cutscene in there for the right time. They can do that with other bits.
I still haven't seen that cutscene like in game.
Pulled pork's a dick.
And even at the end of the D2 story, like we saw the pyramid ships, and here we are so many years later until that's being addressed.
Yeah, I mean, because what was it, Mara Soph in her little throne room and stuff, and then there was the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly then. You had Mara Soph, and then all of a sudden she disappeared, but you looked at the table, there were the pyramid ships. So are you telling me Mara Soph's in those pyramid ships? Is that who she's made a deal with? Or has she fucked off because she knew that they were coming? We don't know. There's still nothing in the lore to say where she is in regards to that. It's like, where are we?
There's a little bit. She's basically adapted her own throne world, essentially.
And it's weird,
But
because she says she's made this deal. It's like, tell us, and then we had the seasons. I mean, the Black Armory was okay. The Drifter season was
Season of the Break.
We don't even
Throwing
need the
Gambit.
season of the Break. Yeah, there it is. And then they had the season that was after it, and then we had Shadowkeep. And Shadowkeep was like, we're going back to the moon, and it was like, okay, we're going back to the moon.
All right.
I'd never been there, but I played D1 just before it, so I had been there. And then like it's like, okay, this is good. And then they added all these bits, and like D1 people who I was playing with, like, this is great, this is great, this is new. Oh my god, this still looks like when we were on the moon and stuff like that. And then you went through the Shadowkeep story, and it stopped, and it was like, don't fucking do an Osiris to me. Don't do an Osiris to me on a big main DLC. And they did a fucking Osiris to us. And it was like, I hate you. And it's like, but it's coming with the seasons. It's like, I don't want to wait for the seasons to get a bit more of this story. I want to get my teeth into it. And now, with the cusp of Beyond Light, we're just getting to where Shadowkeep, our story ended in Shadowkeep a year and a bit ago to now. And it's like, I hate you, Bungie. I love you, but I hate you.
Osiris gave you nothing in the end. Like, you kill Panoptes and you just kind of shrug your shoulders. At least Shadowkeep gave you a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Kind
a good
of.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what brings back a paying audience. We got a conclusion. We learned about darkness and such, and that aspect, and then it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to come back now. And find out how this goes.
I think it's been okay for me, just because I didn't get Shadowkeep there until this season, so I've had all of it to play through in this one season.
Lucky too.
So it's kind of all been there like fresh. I haven't had to do that long wait.
Yeah, I think the end of Shadowkeep was, in my eyes, the start of the hidden lore thing that I was talking about, where all the story is now in lore tabs and not in story missions, because that was the last we ever heard of like story missions, with an occasional, smattering of here and there, because at that point we'd gotten the weird relic thing from the darkness, and that led us to the raid. Well, they didn't say anything like, cutscene or story missions. It happened to be, we did the raid, it was there, it led us to the spot, that was the story of the raid. It didn't explicitly tell us that, but it was in the lore tabs that it told us that.
And with as much lore as we're now getting, I would like to see Bungie implement, maybe not cutscenes, because it's so much extra work. Just when you go to the lore tabs, have a button to press to where it's voiced over.
Yeah. It would be good. Little subtle.
When I'm playing the video game, I don't want to read all that.
Dear Bungie, hire Bife.
Yeah. Make it official. Bife here is the man of the lore.
Yeah, he is.
Hire Bife, and then all he has to do is record the tabs in game for his videos.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's it. Because it's something people can listen to. And they can do a little bit of extra work with some cutscenes. It would be nice every season to get 1 or 2 cutscenes. It would make the seasons... It would make them feel a little bit less like you're just grinding for the sake of grinding. And it would make them feel like, a continuation a little bit of the story. So you're getting there, not just here's a lore piece, here's some guns and stuff like that. Here's a couple of new exotics. There you go, you're done to the next season. It would be nice. Cheers for the likes, Sajit. So let's get into it. The current state of the game, but we'll go through the different ones. So like the state of PvE right now. We'll start with Serial again.
As like a PvE specific, I don't get tired of it, because being away from the game, I've only been back for like 2 months. I was overseas away from the game for about 6 months, so I have a bit of a grind, even though Beyond Light's gonna make all my legendary gear worthless and give me blues that turbo power it, but I'm ready for that. I still enjoy it when you have people, like when we have our group, when we have people that we can help out. Like, you have to find ways to make it fun. And I think the argument a lot of people have is, I shouldn't have to find ways to make it fun. It should just be fun. Give me something to do. And Super Mario Rivals did a great job with the means to end quest every week, with the build up, and you do the interference mission, and every day you learn something new. And now we have the peak of it, where we kill Nokris and get another little spout from the darkness. You get teleported and you see that ship surrounded by the 4 different races minus the Vex. Yeah, So and the fact that they even close it with power waits for you on Europa, that's the clincher to get you into the next season, to get you to buy the DLC. But I think for people like you guys, you really have been doing this the entire season. You really have to find, and you kind of struggle to make it worth playing right now. And that's the problem that we have with seasons is the interference mission's great, but Turner, what's your max light level? Like 1091, 1092?
Yeah, I'm working on getting 1092 now.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, there's literally nothing that challenges him. So at the same time, if you're already at that peak with say 1085 and up, you have nothing. There's nothing for you here. Just play the game, enjoy the good gunplay mechanics, and play with your friends, or help people who haven't had the chance to do this, which we heavily encourage.
He's 1091 and he's taken a break as well. I just want to say that now, okay? And people still haven't caught up to him.
I've not been playing outside of raids for the last 4 weeks. Outside of purpose that we do.
It's like I look at my light level and I see I need 1.9 million XP to hit like my plus 19 boost. I can only imagine how much XP you need to make that go up one.
So I need 3.4 million to get to the next power level.
I just need a casual 3 million. It's a small loan of $1 million.
And there are people who have hit
1,000 bounties, and I should be there for the next light level.
People have hit 1,100, and it's like, what are you doing in your life? I mean, I know I play it a lot, but like, what are you guys doing?
I could have done that. I got bored. I ran out of things to do other than the Sherpas.
And that is the type of thing that Bungie needs to keep going, that give people a reason to still play the game. Like, there may not be a lot of content, but say you're 1085, you have a hard time getting the Grandmaster Nightfall. Being 1091, which is that next tier that you need to get rid of the marker on all the ads, that's a big step.
It is a big step.
Yeah, so for me, when I look at the state of Bungie, I kind of share the premise with what Serial was saying. The best example is during this season, I had a Destiny dry spell. Like, due to personal reasons, I couldn't play as much as I wanted to, and I wasn't able to get on. And even with I think it was 2-3 months of this season and a little bit further because I stopped playing earlier than that, I still managed to get to max light. I still managed to do everything in the game. And I'm to the point where I'm, bashing my face against the wall, doing the same thing every week, all the time, over and over again, because there's nothing new. In my eyes, the best example of how little there is to do is the fact that Toucan is now going through all of the raids that we are retiring and trying to get all of them to 100 full clears. Like, that is a perfect example of nothing better to do.
Wrong.
Yeah. Hitting that number, it's just I'm just gonna, 100 full clears of Last Wish raid. Like, that's like a half an hour raid, and doing that 100 times, that's what? 3,000 minutes generously, as long as everything goes right with our raid team. It's never going to go right. Someone's going to throw. We know that. No. So it's probably going to be longer.
Bridge out the Serial.
Because usually when we mess, unless we're speed running this stuff, it might go upwards of an hour. So getting all of this stuff cleared is this is all of the time that we spent isn't on new content. It's spent on old content that we're doing 100 more times, because
we did the same thing we just did the other night when me, you, and Troy just said, "Let's do an either."
I don't mind stuff like that.
Let's go pick on Argos.
There's a problem when it has to come to stuff like that. Like, when the player base has to make up their own ways to make the game fun, you're doing something wrong. You should have a game you should have it where every time it starts to get stale, you need to inject something into the game to make it a little bit more interesting. The season festivities, these are great. This is what you need to do. However, not all the time are they 100%. Because this one in particular, I wasn't the biggest fan of because of the Cypher stuff. I still haven't even done all of the Cypher stuff. It needs me to do 45. Those things. even with the increased drop rate, like I don't even have enough to finish the triumph, and like I don't care enough to do it. But like with that, like instead of having I think everyone just started that, but like the challenge of getting the furthest in the forest, there's no incentive to that because all you need is 5 cipher keys to open 5 chests. The rest of it is like, yeah, congratulations, you went 2 further than your past did. Here's 2 pieces of candy for you. Thank you for your hard work and your extra $30 for silver for this.
Yeah, for those triumphs, I just found myself going in the haunted forest, looking at that timer, and like, can you just go to 0 so I can use my ciphers?
Yeah, because what the thing was is the strategy was to do the firewall one where it's just you do one branch, then you stop, you kill the boss, you wait at the start, and then you go over to your second monitor and start watching YouTube videos for 11 minutes, and then die, and there you go. You got your 5 chests for your 5 ciphers. You leave, you come back, you get your 5 ciphers, and do it again. Like that shouldn't be your content. That should be, I don't know. Like if that's something you have, there needs to be something on top of it. There needs to be a story mission or two, something to spice up the world a little bit. Give us, a taste of something. Like it doesn't even need to be a main storyline. Like do something like I don't know. They're trying to throw like a Halloween party for the tower or something. It doesn't have to be a canon main storyline. Give us a literal half-season little cutesy storyline where we got to run around and do like a little teeny mission where you fight, I don't know, Taken that have party hats. Something that's so funny. You chortle at it. You go, this has absolutely nothing to do with Destiny, but it was fun. I had a good time.
So you're on about like the lost sector on the Tangled Shore where you go in and the skanks are floating around and they're like waiters with like the glasses and the bottles on them and stuff.
The DJ booth, the party, everything. That was awesome.
Dude, what if they did that one lost sector throughout the whole universe gets transformed just a little bit? They don't do much. They just little change.
Halloween
There's a
parties.
Little story behind it. Yeah, like they have like little ghost mask face on, or they have like a sound effect when you kill them, like they do in the Last Wish raid. Nothing crazy, but maybe like a little story behind what's happening. Like I don't know, Hawthorne found this weird cursed box thing, and when it opened it, it sent out something. Like it doesn't have to impact the world of Destiny. It just has to be something cutesy, little fun. Because they used to do that in the previous seasons. Because I think it was like the haunting of whatever lost sector, and you did this stuff, and you got your mask, and it was cool. It was fun. They don't do that anymore. Now it's, hey, how you doing? Here's your mask. Here's your cipher. Go in there, AFK for 11 minutes.
I mean, I know one
I
thing.
gave our 3 armor sets for 1,500 silver each in the store.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh my, yeah. We'll talk about Eververse later.
That's what we're talking about, Jessica.
We're gonna get
Jessica pulled out a good point too. I want to see Sparrow Racing come back.
Yes.
I don't know. I've seen our raid team in
hang on. Yeah. We can have a private event between us. That's fine. I'd never join or race against anybody else because I have seen our whole team try and do that Sparrow race. Like, nope. the Botley Grand Prix is enough
we're
for
doing
me,
it. It's
okay?
like, I need this one. No, it's mine. And you push someone off the cliff as you try to go for it. This is why we don't go flawless, because we spend more time trying to kill each other.
So,
yeah, we try to kill each other a lot.
I mean, just to touch on what Goalie's saying, there is something that Goalie may not know, but when you do actually do the 45, there is an actual mission to go and see Spider, and he gives you an Ascendant Lens, and it's the first item that we've actually been given that's legendary, and says that it lets you see Ascendant Planes, because it's from the Dreaming City. So we need to see where this goes. There is speculation that it's something to do with the Vault of Glass, but we'll see as time goes by, because it could just end up being like the fucking ramen the ramen ticket, or
and the speculation I heard is that it's actually meant for something inside of Beyond Light, because at this point we should already be in Beyond Light, but because of coronavirus it got extended past it. So this might be an item that we could use in the new DLC, but because we're not there yet, it has no purpose.
Yeah. So we'll figure out as we go. So here we go.
I should probably get that at one of the
There's not many PvP players here, but we're all PC players. Let's talk about the state of PvP, and let's talk about Perfect Aim and Rush 1 and stuff. Hi, salty guys who are cancelling their pre-orders because your cheats have been taken away.
Oh no!
there are now 0.92 people, 0.92 KD people running around Crucible, and the rest of you are now hiding in corners going, fuck, we've been rumbled, boys.
I loved the meme. So it was like people with 0.08 KD, and then it's the Terminator, and then there's like people who used to have perfect aim.
Yeah. It's not so prevalent on console. There are a couple of cheaters. We all know that people are using some network manipulation, but like it's not as bad as it is on PC because you see it everywhere. You see the people who are doing carries. They're 6-0. These guys are really good, and then all of a sudden they're up against a guy who, the minute they see the speck of your fucking toe, you've been headshot. It's like, how the fuck do you headshot me in my toe, you dick? So I'm hoping, cross fingers, that now the Bungie are taking action, this is the end of this. And it opens PvP up for everyone on PC. But also, the knock-on effect of that is, just quickly talking about it, is that the raid race is now going to be a legitimate one, and it's not going to have to be officiated, and like 24 hours after it's been done, they're going to finally turn around and go, okay, this is the team that actually won.
I think we all saw that video, didn't we? I don't know if Serial saw it, but I know you definitely saw it, where that guy went and interviewed the guy that was cheating, and he was like showing the cheat that was using.
Yeah, full auto unlimited whisper.
It was
unlimited
whisper,
ammo.
Infinite ammo with no shooting cap speed. Yeah. It was basically a laser beam, and it would.
I'll send you the video, Serial. I'll send you the thing. He walked in the river and just went, and she melted. And it's like, whoa!
And it was a hip fire too. I don't think he was aiming down sight. He just went.
I'm on about the video where that YouTuber went and interviewed the guy.
Yeah, but he shows the hacks as he's doing it. It was that one. He's interviewing the guy, and he's showing from the screen share that he's showing him what he can see, and you could see the cheat panel, and you could see how it works in PvP. The full auto with a horde when he did it to Anarchy and he crashed himself out of the game.
It just rained down.
If he like full auto rocket launchers and killed himself in the process.
So I am so glad, so glad to see that they're not just like tackling this. Everyone knows that they're bringing in with Beyond Light a new cheat detection system, but to see them actually go after these sites and go, what you're doing is against our terms and conditions, and actually breaking and suing them, just shut them down. It's a good start. It's a very good start. Maybe too little, not too little, but it might be a little too late for some players.
I didn't realize going from, because when I put the PC build together about 2-3 months ago and started playing Destiny on here instead, I never realized when I played Gambit with you guys just a couple of nights ago, there was that dude with Randy's throwing knife who had like 20 kills on us and just did not miss a single headshot.
Nope. He came through that.
How prevalent it was.
He came through that portal, and within 2 seconds, someone died, and it was like, nah.
Yeah, because I think
I mean, there are people that are that skilled with like massive people, but like you run into them far too often.
Yeah, but but they position themselves. They literally don't portal and then kill you. They portal, get into position, and then kill you. This guy literally popped through, and he was like, "I'm on you."
Portal, and then one by one you saw me, Troy, next.
Yeah, that's
with a scout rifle. In the current meta state of D2 with a scout rifle.
I mean, before I got a decent sniper rifle, I was using the Night Watcher, and I would 2 to 3 tap people in the head with it in Gambit.
But just the fact that Randy's throwing knife is a fast firing one, so it should take 4 to 5 minimum.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then, like, I mean, I showed Serial the little trick that you could do if you tie Gambit up at 1-1. If you're a hunter, literally put mid-tree and put Shard's Galnor on, and like you could just spam the F the super. It's like, but I haven't even killed anything, and Shard's Galnor fills the bar up. It's like,
it's insane.
Okay.
Like the only other place I see it do that is in Mayhem.
Oh my god, Mayhem as well. Yep. You
But
see
at that
people
point, you
with-
might as well just go tether or that, because then it's like, should I make sure no one has fun, or should I make sure no one has fun? Which
I
one
think
do you
Police and
guys
Mayhem
pick?
is awesome.
go.
If I go into PvP into Mayhem with tether, I don't have any fun because I've then got to shoot people. I'd rather get the quad kill with my throwing knives.
I mean, I do like watching Mayhem, and I do think that one day we need to go in as a 6 and just become the fun police. Everyone is a hunter, everyone on tether.
Absolutely.
No one's using their
Bubble
super.
Titans.
No, you can't do
Bubble
6 bubble
Titans
titans.
with
You
shotguns.
can't do bubble titans because it crashes the game. We've learned this. We've seen people do
Even
it.
better. What's more fun police than crashing the game for the opponents? It's just like, lol, nope.
Yeah. So we're all avid raiders. So the state of raids is actually a really good topic to pick up pretty quickly. I'm sad to see the 5. I'm sad to see the 5 go for the year, but I understand why. I do like the fact that there is a new raid. There's a new raid coming out, so we're gonna have 3 raids, and we know Vault of Glass is coming January, so we're gonna have 4 raids from January. I am worried just having Last Wish, Garden, and the Deepstone Crypt, though. It does worry me just having those until January, that people are going to be like, I need a little more. Because I know when we're doing Sherpas now, it's nice to have the variety of the different raids.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like for me, I've not run like Last Wish and Garden all that much. Like I am like 25 clears on both. It's like I'm not at that 100 clears like you are. So for me, I don't think it's going to be an issue just having those for a few months. But I think it's probably going to be an issue for people like you that have already like got 100 clears on them, and you've been running them so much to help everyone else get through as well.
I need to stop booking in Sherpas for me.
Yeah. So I don't mind having 3 raids either. I agree with Turner. My fear comes from after Deepstone Crypt, and I'm gonna assume we're not going to have a hard mode or prestige mode or anything like that because they've kind of stopped doing that. Or when they bring up Vault of Glass in January, why Vault? Why? I mean, yes, it's an amazing raid, and they say they're gonna tune it, but I'm sorry, when I hear Bungie say that they're gonna tune it, like, okay, is Atheon just gonna teleport us to 2 different locations instead of the same one? But it's all gonna look the same with the same mechanics, or it's oracles maybe just gonna be in different spots. Like that scares me. Why aren't we doing raid lowers or dungeons or kind of doing the same thing but bringing new content, new locations in? I love Vault of Glass and Lacking the Machine in March. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm gonna fanboy over that one so much because that was by far, in my opinion, the best raid. But I always get worried when they're gonna bring back old content.
Yeah, because Bungie are accused of recycling a lot, and
the name of the game, because isn't the armor set from the Garden is just an ornament from like 2 seasons previously? Like they just they just reskinned it and then made it pinnacle armor. But for me, I kind of like jumping back a little bit before I touch on that other point is I don't think there's a problem with just having the 3 raids because in all honesty, before they released the Triumph that required us to get a clear of all of those raids, we had literally 0 reason to do them because first off, like, they were there forever. We didn't know they were going away. We wouldn't need to do them anyway. Second, all of the power from those weapons only dropped at the power of that raid. So even if we'd done that, it wasn't going to be powerful drops. They were you got your drop from Leviathan, it was a 750. We're all at 10,000 or 1,000 plus. 750 doesn't do anything, and they're not random roll weapons, so we didn't need those. So outside of needing all of the ring raids completed for a Triumph in order to get your cutesy little ring that costs an arm and a leg, we had no reason to do them anyway. Like, I mean, maybe Scourge of the Past, maybe Crown of Sorrows, because those were like inside there with the random rolls, the exotics, the stuff like that might hurt a little bit for some people that are going away, but they were around long enough that most people did the runs to get what they wanted, to get their exotic weapons if they had it. And then most of the focus was on the Garden of Salvation because it was the only one that gave you powerful gear, pinnacle gear. So having those raids be gone didn't really affect us until we knew they were going to be gone.
It'll be
we haven't had a raid since October of last year, so we've been running on the same ones. And another good question is I don't mind having 3, but it's going to be irritating to me that we do this grind to get ready for Deepstone Crypt. We do Deepstone Crypt, and what if Deepstone Crypt is the only one that drops Pinnacle Gear? Then we have 2 useless raids, so we really have 1 raid.
Which is what Bryce said. It'll be good to see what they do with the repurposed armor for Last Wish, because as most of us know, the mods for Last Wish are only going to work in Last Wish now, and all the other mods from all the other raids are going to be depreciated, so they're not going to work. You're not going to be able to use them anymore and get them. So is Last Wish going to become Pinnacle again? What are their plans with that? We still don't know. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. You know,
I think all the raids should drop Pinnacle gear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all sold as endgame content. So if it's endgame content, why doesn't it drop loot like the rest of the endgame content does?
Yeah. Granted, the light level's lower, but when you factor in mechanics and the fact that the enemies still scale based on whatever you are, they still hit hard.
Yeah.
Your mic is
your mic just went.
Is it better now?
Yes,
it has
better.
changed.
Okay.
It's been the same for me the whole way through this.
But I mean,
that's all you hear from me. They'll turn around as womp 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 womp.
Hey, that's the final talking
when he
point.
gets
Remember?
really excited, we don't hear what he says anymore. So don't get too excited, otherwise we won't be able to understand it.
So here's the hot topic, the one that we included, the state of Eververse. Now I'm going to hide. You know, so I mean, Eververse is in a bad place now. I mean, I pointed this out while we were talking about it before. I mean, if you go into your collections and you go to your Sparrows and you go to your ships and stuff like that, the lack of stuff. You see season 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 2-3 pages on some of them of all these items. So there was stuff to grind for. There was stuff to get with Bright Dust. And now you look at Eververse and you go, a lot of bright dust, silver, and it's like, this is not. And I mean, I can understand some people's points, and I see it a lot. You know, Bungie are an independent studio again. They don't have a, they don't have Activision. They don't have this AAA company above them anymore. They're standalone. There's ways of doing things though, and I don't think Eververse as it is it.
No. Like this Festival of Lost event, this was the first real event since I've been back playing again. And as soon as I go into Eververse, and I am like visually just picture in my head and how much money I'd have to spend to get everything. I might as well buy the deluxe edition of the next DLC.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, if this is the first like major event since you like came back, like it was exactly the same, just like a few weeks before with the Solstice. There were the 3 armor sets for the 3 different colours, and you had to buy them all, either for like a massive amount of bright dust or a ridiculous amount of silver.
Yeah, I came back right as that was finishing, and I always loved that effect. So when I got it from my hunter, I just figured when I switched over to Warlock, I figured I was going to throw it on there for the $20 I spent on it, and then when I realized I couldn't, I was like, oh, I really just got ripped off.
Go on, Turner. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people like. Sorry, you buy the 3 colours and you've got it for each of them, but now it was you have to buy it for each different character.
Yep.
I mean, I
at least
do
they
like
didn't have it where you had to buy one of each color, like because there's sometimes where they do that. Where I think the previous season is if you wanted an ornament and then you wanted to buy it, you had to buy either a solar, arc, or void. You had to buy all 3 if you wanted all 3.
They were like consumables, kind of.
Yeah, this one it was whatever subclass you have, it turns to that color, which I can appreciate that. They're not selling 9 of them; they're selling 3 of them. Even still, though, I mean,
$60 for 3 characters just to glow.
Yeah, and I
glow
all.
the color that you want them to glow instead of the white one that you got given.
Yeah, See, I got all the different colours, and I was like, you know, I'm probably not going to use anything else but this armor. And then I got to the Titan, I'm like, nah, we're never using this on the Titan because it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's another thing too. If it just doesn't look right, like you really feel like you waste your money.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, touch on what Bryce is. I know Bryce saying that, you know, imagine that Everbus affects the game. Want aesthetic stuff, buy it. Don't. I think the thing is that there's so much now that you have to buy, whereas you look at previous seasons and you look at when D2 first came out, you look at the stuff that you could just earn, that you could pick up randomly. The difference is now it seems to all be locked behind a paywall. It's not like you can actually earn a lot of the stuff anymore.
Yeah,
it's gone from there's things and you can get things for money, you know, so there's a good balance, to now here's one thing, everything else is behind the paywall now.
And Bungie does promote it. Yeah, go ahead.
When I think we're thinking the same thing, specifically for this most recent event, the Halloween event, where they advertise it massively. This is their thing that will carry us to the the end. And everything that you can get has to be bought. Because normally, you know, when you have a season like this, you can earn engrams, and the engrams will open up and you can get, you know, the stuff from this thing, but they aren't here. They're not there. You only get the mnemonic engrams, and those aren't going to have any of the stuff there. So I can understand where Bryce is coming from. If you don't want it, don't buy it. However, when the company is pushing this event as like out to the thing to be the stuff to carry us to what we're waiting for, but everything is locked behind a paywall, it's not an event. It's a sales pitch. It's please buy our stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, here's 2 guns that we made last year, and now they can have really trash perks because they're not, they're random roll now. So congratulations, go AFK for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I've been dealing with that playing Gambit yesterday, just with a bunch of randoms by myself. We literally had 2 players that were just sitting on top of a building with just emoting, just sitting up there for the whole thing because they didn't give a crap at all. They were just there for their deciphers.
Yeah,
and from there, you know, I miss when Bungie used to do. You could get the engrams, like you said, and they would have the items, or you could just buy them. But that was also poorly implemented because you would get a lot of duplicates. So I really wish they'd reward the grind, and the players would want to grind it for free by taking that item once you got it out of the loot table.
Yeah, and Brian mentioned to do the bounties. Aren't there only 4 bounties a week that give you bright dust?
No, there's 2 bounties that give you bright dust, and then you can get the random ones also.
Yeah, the random ones do bright dust, but I think
if you're playing all 3 characters, I think you can earn 3,600 bright dust a week, and that's only when there's a season on. Not a season, an event, because they give you the extra bounties for bright dust.
But even beyond just say doing that, $20 for a freaking glow effect for 1 character, and that's the price. I think the pricing is just very flawed right now for an $10 for an emote.
Yeah, it's. I think it's very, very overinflated. Like, I'm not gonna buy that emote for any amount of money. Like, I'll buy it for bright dust maybe, but I'm never gonna buy it for money.
But you know, we'll see what happens with Beyond Light. So, you know, getting into that bit, we're going to talk about the Beyond Light, but let's take a look at what they released today. It's a nice new video for those of you who haven't seen it. Enjoy this.
Chains! For centuries we have been bound by them. We have become pawns of our own devices. No longer!
Darkness walks among us. We are all in great danger. My kind must survive. Please send
Axis' presence on Europa is not happenstance. Obsession propelled her here. Our enemies stand no chance against this power. The great machine will finally know our pain!
So first of all, I want you to ignore the date on that video. It says November 11th. That is for everybody in Australia. It does launch on November 10th. I downloaded the Australian one on purpose because Corey, bless him, we don't want to confuse him, and we know how hard it is for him to read anyway. So I wanted to make sure, that people understood that it is November 10th. Please don't read the date off of it.
All right. I just want to say one thing before we start. In the pre-order bonus, is the emote that they're giving away freeze tag?
Yes, you can tag the person in the one freeze.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's a little upsetting.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought this up. It's because we were just talking about Eververse. How do we feel about just giving a little more time to explain to those who pre-order the deluxe edition? Like people like us, what do we need the deluxe edition for? We don't need all the previous content.
I can't comment.
Turn out you're still muted, buddy.
Yeah, I am. The way I've looked at it is like getting the deluxe edition for 60 quid. Mm-hmm. It's worked out at the game's 30 and then the season pass is 30, and I've got the season pass throughout the entirety of year 3. So that's the way I'd be getting the season passes anyway. Now I've got them already, and it's cheaper for me. Plus I've got a couple of free emotes and a ghost on top.
I think maybe No Time to Explain is going to be the exotic in the season pass.
It's going to be the season pass weapon. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
They're being like, congratulations, you'll get this weapon. But if you buy the season, you'll also get the weapon too. And if you don't buy the season, you'll get this weapon a week later. I feel like they're making it out to be, if you get this now, you're going to get it. And it's like, but tell everyone else. And if you already have this emote, then you'll already have it.
Yeah.
Granted, the special effect is really different from D1. When a D1 player hears that they're getting No Time to Explain for free, we don't care.
I think D1 players would have liked to have seen something like Icebreaker or what's the other one that they want to see? No, not the Galahad. The other one. No, the other one.
Which other one?
There's another one that everyone keeps going on about.
I mean, we got Outbreak Perfected back.
You mean Hawkmoon?
Hawkmoon is coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. They know. There we go. They know. There we go. It's cool. So it's. Yeah. I can't think. I'm gonna have to look it up. There's another one because there's No Time to Explain. Icebreaker, Hawkmoon. There's another one.
I mean, No Time to Explain was garbage. It was
and I can't think what it is. And it's not Galahad. It's not Galahad. But don't mind me going.
Wait, Icebreaker's supposed to come back? Is that what you're saying here?
Apparently so.
Not coming back. Oh,
no,
really?
Are you sure? Do we know the exotic that's tied to the raid on the ice planet?
Can we please not bring back a sniper that generates ammo, please?
Can we not bring back a weapon for a new raid? I personally want them to make new stuff. It's cool that they're bringing back old stuff, but don't just cop out and have every exotic be a return to the exotic.
Beyond.
Make new stuff. Show us your creativity. Blow our minds with your ability to create god-powered weapons.
Yeah.
Kingsfall comes back and I don't get Touch of Malice, boy. Yeah, cheers, Bri.
Touch of Malice is awesome. Touch of Malice was awesome, but only in Kingsfall.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens with other content that they do bring back, or raid content that they do bring back. But I mean,
Touch of Malice well now would be broken.
I mean that trailer today, and seeing that we're going to go up against, and I mean, for those who haven't read the website, it actually lists enemies, and it looks very much like we're going down the same route as Forsaken, where we're going to have a plot line, and then where with Forsaken you could go and kill the Barons. It looks like we're going to go and kill her Barons before we go and kill her, because they name a lot of people and like the darkness powers that they're wielding, or the darkness / stasis powers that they're wielding, knowing that they've given Fallen the ice powers. It's not ice powers, it's stasis. You know, it looks good. You know, and to see, you know, they've brought the Exo Stranger back, and I think it's the first time that the Exo Stranger's been back since the end of the Black Garden in D1, if I'm not mistaken.
Bungie literally came out and said that they were all wrapped up with the Exo Stranger, and we all thought they were fit.
Yeah. Eris has all of a sudden there, and it looks like it's going to be heavily surrounded the Drifter. Please don't make that mistake like the Season of the Drifter.
It's always story driven. It won't matter because the Season of the Drifter wasn't a story related at all.
I know.
It was damn it! Man, I played it for 5 minutes. I'm good. We're done with the season.
So you know, it does. It looks good. You know, they've named enemies. They've shown now a little bit of the plot line that we're going to go up against darkness wielding Fallen and Exo Fallen. Apparently, it'll be good to see when they drop the raid trailer, to see what that's going to be about, because I know there's been trailers with like little snippets, but like we don't know if that's a dungeon. We don't know if that's going to be the raid itself, or if that's just going to be part of the storyline with some of it in. So it's going to be good to see.
Any of the raid yet.
I think they really like the Fallen when it comes to variants, because we've had the Siva Fallen, the Frozen Fallen, the Exo Fallen, and then there was the Black Armory Fallen. Like, they really like to give these guys
Fallen as well, like the
because they're now Scorn,
which
is essentially Fallen, but they're dead. They're zombies. Zombie Fallen. There we go.
Zombie Fallen. See that?
Really
that's what these haunted forests should be filled with.
The splicers can come back any day.
But you know, it looks like we know, and like Serial was saying earlier, when we had the fight with Nokris and we went to the ship, and then we had the 4 races. We know that now it looks like these different races we're going to come across in the different DLCs, and they're going to be wielding darkness powers. So it's going to be good to see where it goes. My one worry is that they're changing the customization for the stasis classes. What customizations are we going to get? I know they're changing the way that it's laid out, but what customization are we going to get for Solar Void and Arc on top of that as well? And are these different? Are they still going to be relevant going into the new season, going into the new raid, or is everything going to be we're just running stasis now? Is this going to do away with variety? You know, Radiance over anything, because you know Warlock mains are
Hold on, guys. Let me not die. Ching!
It's going to be interesting. And the other thing is that Vex seem to be heavily featured, but why? Why?
Why? That's a good question. Why? They're the only ones we didn't see anything about.
The Vex are the one race that avoid and want nothing to do with the darkness. So I'm not surprised to see them at all. So they'd be basically fighting the same fight we are, but they just have beef with us also. So
that's fair.
Kill them back.
But also, Noble, I think they Anon 15? Is that the guy's name? Called Darkness Power like 2-3 years ago before Forsaken came out. I don't know.
Because people talked about it a while ago.
we are because originally it was supposed to be a PvEVP open world system where people could beat the crap out of each other and ads at the same time. But I don't know if we've heard anything about that ever since.
Kind of like the Division with the Dark Zone and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe they were just hinting at Gambit Prime or something.
Yeah, I think it just works out way too hard to balance because like the Division's not going to done a good job of it. So
they did horrible with that initially, especially.
It's still a mess. So I don't think if a company like that can't with that amount of resources can't manage to balance that well, then how is
like a solid stable game?
Yeah.
What? A balanced game world? That's unheard of.
So if they can't do that, how I don't see a smaller company with even less resources being able to do it.
I'm eager to see, because I remember people talking about it a while ago too, is what if Guardians were actually the bad guys in this whole thing from the very start?
I think I heard that somewhere.
Now we're embracing darkness, and it seems like we're getting coaxed more and more towards it. So I'm eager to see where that goes.
It's going to be...
Hashtag Prince Aldrin did nothing wrong.
Oh, shit.
No, even if we're the bad guys, he deserves to get shot. You can't take Cade from us. Cade is like the chaotic neutral. Like, he can do what he wants, but if you mess with him, you'll turn an entire race of people against you.
Yeah. Cade's worth going to the dark side for.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad my chat didn't just blow up with you saying that. I mean...
I love Cade too. Nothing so warms my heart more during the Arms Zero strikes when I think it's Holiday says that insecure men tend to surround themselves with people just like them, and Ghost is like, Cade, or he goes, nope, that's why I work alone.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Nathan Fillion, man. He's my man crush.
But I mean, it's good though to see like the 3-year roadmap, so we know where we're going. We've got Beyond Light. We know the Witch Queen is coming, so we know what to expect there. And then we've got
my only beef is that we know where we're going. Yeah, my only beef is that we know where we're going, and I'm excited for Beyond Light, but I'm already mentally checked out. Bring me Savathun. I've been wanting the Crown of Sorrow continuation, not Crown of Sorrow, excuse me, the freaking Book of Sorrows story continuation now for a while. Because even after that, we got one more sister to kill.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Also, Siri, your mic is going more and more now, man.
Yeah, your mic literally just went, you're gonna buzz on it. It's like, wow.
I'm getting too hyped.
It's gonna be interesting to see it though.
Excited.
What did you have? Crota, then you had I've lost it.
So we had Crota, son of Oryx.
Yeah.
Then we killed
Oryx.
We killed Daddy.
Yeah. Nokris.
And then
who was a strike boss.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Then we killed the daughters during the Kingsfall raid.
And then
we killed Crota's sister in another strike.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scarlet.
Yeah.
Now we gotta kill Anti-Savathun.
Yeah. Anti-Savathun. Excuse me. How many are there of you?
And there's one, and then there's Savathun's sister for the life of me. There's
and we killed their womb god, and put him in a gun.
Yeah, one of them. Now we're gonna we're shooting the worm god.
Yeah, the fact that Zol was a Warmind strike.
I know.
Now he's a gun.
Yeah, now he's a gun.
Yeah.
Get in my gun.
It is a weird one, but no, it's gonna be good. And then there's the last one, because there's the witch, there's the Witch Queen. I can't remember what the one after that is, but it's got an interesting title, Blightfall. Yeah.
Blightfall.
What I mean, from the name, are they implying that we're gonna lose
the Traveler?
Oh no,
the Traveler, and the power. We're gonna be just left with darkness powers.
What's the Traveler really done since he got his ass kicked? Right, okay, right. So we've got Ghost, right? They can bring us back from the dead, but he can't repair himself. Are you shitting me?
Wow.
Everyone asks, where is Traveler, but no one asks how is Traveler.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. So yeah, so the last topic we wanted to touch on, and I mean, I've added an interesting thing because I'm guilty of this. It's the state of the player base. Now, I mean, I put the hashtag on the end of it, whining fucks. But I did it for a reason, because if there's one thing that I've learned about Destiny 2 and most of its player base is that we are a bunch of whining fucks, because people call for nerfs, buffs, people want to see all these different things done and everything done quickly, and they want all these changes and everything. We have such high expectations.
I mean, the thing is, though, right? I think the general player base for any game is just toxic AF in forums anyway. Like, you take a look at the WoW forums, you take a look at the forums for the Division, like, even when things are going right, there are still people just spewing shit.
Dude, man, the amount of people that would get mad at games like Tetris, bro. Like, if there's a game that they're going to get mad at, it's like, that block wasn't falling fast enough, man.
Look, they made Tetris 99, okay? They turned that game into a battle royale, okay?
So the game, to any game's credit, though, is when people will start whining and complaining about that, at least you know they're passionate about it.
Yes,
they care about
yeah.
it.
I'd probably say Destiny probably has one of the most passionate players.
That's the thing, that I think the people that are passionate about it will give like constructive like feedback. Whether they're whining or not, they're gonna give constructive feedback. But I think 90% of the comments that get left on videos on YouTube, in the forums, it's not helpful. It's just them crying basically because they didn't get what they wanted.
But
yeah, it's fun going into any group and just saying, "Mountaintop, go."
Whoa. For anyone who watches this anywhere or listens to this anywhere, wherever we put it, because I'm going to try and put it out everywhere, we're going to discard the mounting top comment. Please don't blow up anything, any chats or any comments. I am dropping the habit at the end of this season. You'll be happy to know.
I wonder why.
I'm putting the crutch down.
Yeah, it's actually going to have to get good in Crucible.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the mountaintop is less of a crutch and more of a wheelchair.
True. That's fine. I'm fine. I'm happy with that. But yeah, no, I think Destiny players are a passionate bunch. But I do have one question in regards to this. Do you think the bigger streamers have too much of a say with the changes and stuff that goes on? Because it seems to me that there are certain people who say certain things and then certain things change, especially with Destiny.
So I think when D1, back in D1, when I think it was before King's Fall, when D1 was completely trash, there was just nothing to do. They took a bunch of streamers, King Italian, Data, there was a bunch of them who were most notable in the community, brought them to Bungie, showed them what they were working on, and literally took their advice. So I could see where you're coming from there. But from that, they're still going to go with what they know works, as well as they took that community feedback. So I think it is absolutely for the best. These guys eat, sleep, and drink this game, and most of them are kind of like you, where they want to build a community that's helping and it's not really toxic. So I'm all for it. If you're going to listen to a community, you might as well listen to people like, say, they could listen to me all they want. I don't interact with in a chat room of Destiny players and fans all the time. You do. So your insight is going to come from not only your own experiences, but this is what people are talking about. Now you could go in there and say, this is what I care about, and Mountaintop isn't good enough. I think it needs twice the blast radius and speed it up a little bit.
And you know what? It should light people on fire as well. I think that'd be a great idea. So that you'll no longer one shot. They burn the last bit of health away. It's the
mix it with a bit of horde and make it legendary.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. You gotta get this information from somewhere, and you can't pull all sorts of players. Like, you could put up polls and vote and stuff like that, but people always complain too. It's like, well, Bungie's nerfing this and stuff. Well, they keep buffing everything. They need to raise the health pools and make everything in the game harder, and then your RNG relying on getting that good stuff to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, so I definitely agree saying that, like, I think they should listen to streamers more so, because a lot of the time it feels like they don't listen at all. Because the best example is the Season of the Worthy, when cheaters were rampant, there were error codes everywhere. Every single streamer all said the same thing. it's broken, it needs to be fixed. Even then, we're still not getting a better anti-cheat until the release of the new, DLC, which was like almost a half a year later. So I definitely feel at this point, like when I started hearing about this, how you were talking about how all these people are going into these streamers, and then the streamers hear their perspective. It feels like almost like a political system. Like these streamers are the elected representatives of the community, and it's shown by how large of a following they have, how many Twitch follows, subscriptions, and stuff like that. And it shows, and we should put these people up on our pedestal because they have the skills, the experience, and the reputation behind them that play this game, like you said, for a living. And if Bungie wants to listen to what these streamers, these YouTubers, these people that we listen to ourselves to make their game better, at least I would say a solid 80% of those people, like the streamers and stuff, they listen to us. Of course, you got that other 10 to 20% that are just as toxic as the rest of us are, and then don't listen to them. But for the most part, I feel like I feel like they definitely should listen to these streamers, because in a sense, in a way, these streamers, these YouTubers are effectively the voice of the community. And if we want to get a something across, they would go through these streamers, because to the company, these streamers are free advertisement. Like the streamers are playing their game for thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people getting this their new game out in an area that they didn't have to pay for. They're not paying these streamers to play their game normally. Sometimes they sponsor them, sometimes they don't, but they're getting essentially free advertisement. And if these people are giving a suggestion and they're doing this free advertisement on this massively large scale, then they should have some form of influence into the direction of the game, because they are effectively, like I said, the mouthpiece of the community and the way we want the direction of the game to go.
And we see how streamer numbers get flooded, especially like waiting until the first day Beyond Light drops, waiting to see the viewer counts. First day raid drops when people want to just watch that raid race. His numbers are through the roof.
It's going to be interesting to see. The reason that I touch on the streamer question, just for people who are in chat who are saying the reason that I'm asking in regards to this is that I've seen comments, especially in the last week, where people have said streamers have too much influence. Some people have said streamers don't have enough influence, and a lot of other people have been like, that like the community needs more of an input. And I think the case that you're making, that these streamers are the heads of their communities, and the way that they're like figureheads, so they get all of this
clout,
the feedback from people. It's good to ask, and I mean it's the same with any game really. The main streamers who stream those games.
It's like just recently, Blizzard did the same thing for World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's been in a bad spot recently, so they outright asked like 10, 15 different like major Warcraft YouTubers to come to the Blizzard headquarters and sit down at this meeting. And like I know one of the YouTubers that I watch, he wrote a 50-page document of things that people in his community had suggested needed changing, things that could be done better, and he took that to them. And they're sitting down and they're listening. So I think it's a good thing having these people that have got all they stream to all these different people. They've got they're the people that watch them are the people that are truly passionate, that are interested. Because you're not going to go and watch someone play the game if you're not interested in it. So I feel like your opinion probably valid, and you probably got some good points to make. So if they can then take that feedback to these companies and they can make changes based off that, then I think it's a good thing.
And that's what I wanted to touch on. So we're gonna bring this to a wrap now, anyway, because we're 30 minutes over where I wanted to be. But I mean, it's been a good discussion. I did plan on taking some questions from chat, but what I'll do is I'll put a post up, just to get some questions, and we'll get some answers on that, and we'll get everyone back. We're definitely going to do this again, because I've enjoyed this. This is something I wanted to do anyway. This was a last minute thing because we knew maintenance and stuff was still going to go on in the background. I'm going to get off for half an hour now, chat. I'm going to come back on though because I want to do some stuff in Destiny. Tubos just said that apparently they have solved the puzzle in the top left of the picture, so that's going to be interesting to see if they have or if there's anything in regards going on with that. But I do want to thank Serial. I do want to thank Goldie. I do want to thank Turner for jumping in literally with like an hour and a bit's notice. And having this conversations chat. I want to thank you for questions. I want to thank you for comments and stuff like that. There's been some interesting stuff, and it's been good to do this. I am going to pass you to somebody else who's streaming Destiny 2 right now, not just us talking and doing this little podcast piece that we've done. And I'll be back live, like I said, in about half an hour. I just need to go and freshen up, stretch my legs and stuff. But thank you guys. Here's the trailer again for Beyond Light, and speak to that. Oh, just before we go though, I'm going to ask one question, one word answers, or like a short answer, as you can see. If there's anything that you can add to D2 new, whether it be weapon, Sparrow, event, raid, or like anything like that, what would it be? Serial?
Ooh, yeah, on the spot. I think I would like to. I think for weapon modding, I think mods should come in the form of like weapon parts that you can move around classes. It's like smaller buffs, but have more additional effects. So say if I want my taken armament, 20% damage just on taken, I need to commit five different sets of weapon parts, and also give us a use for all these weapon parts. Kind of build our manufacture our own parts that uses mods. But then say you can just move around like 10%. Like if I commit like 3 parts, give me 10% added reload speed, and then 10% damage to taken. Like I think that'd be better than the weapon mod system we have now.
Goldie?
That wasn't very short. I would like a revamp to cosmetic customizations for shaders and ornaments, like an easier system to change them and make it, so I don't have to, buy these shaders from my collections or collect 1,000 of them. So maybe like a station or something.
Turner?
Yeah, I like what Goldie said, but for me, I want somewhere that I can just go in and grind like endlessly. Like if I've got nothing else to do, like I want somewhere where I can just come in and just like kill an hour grinding, earning some loot that's actually useful.
Horde mode.
Yeah,
or something like that. Dude, that's exactly what I was going to say. Horde mode. Basically, like I want to grind at a catalyst. I need kills. You go here.
Yeah.
Not like a 20-minute time limit, not sitting in the Castellarium with something at the end,
Shirochi.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, nope, I agree. So guys, I'm going to pass you on. Thank you guys for jumping in. I'll speak to you three in a minute anyway. Here is someone playing Destiny. I don't know. This person who is called Xavier. Enjoy it. Thank you guys. Peace.